Hi everybody, welcome back to our channel. Today we are answering a viewer's question about dating someone that's separated from their wife. So we got a question today, or not today, I'm sorry. This question, sorry that the questions got delayed, is only because we wanted to do the George Floyd thing. Yeah. And a couple of more videos after that, we just kind of did the George Floyd thing, so.
Sometimes things just come in.
Right, so,
when we're scheduled, kind of have to do what's hot.
So. I can't stand her. Hot top.
Gonna do a hot topic.
Okay, so she writes, hi ladies, what are your thoughts on dating someone that is legally separated from his wife? You all don't sugarcoat things, laugh out loud. So just curious. I'm thinking about seeing someone in this situation. By the way, love your channel.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for subscribing. We appreciate that. Her name is Tiffany. She said she's okay with saying her name. So thank you, Tiffany. And thanks for subscribing. Okay, so dating someone that's separated.
So I don't date people who are separated or newly divorced.
Yeah, no. Okay, so I have a...
I don't mind dating someone, but I don't get serious.
Yeah.
With I don't like to get serious with men who are newly divorced or are a separation. First of all, separation means you're still married.
Yeah, you wrote legally big as if that was...
But I mean, to me, it's fine. Yeah. I mean, when people are separated, they're saying that it's okay. Right. So his wife would know that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, but what I'm saying is that you got to kind of guard your heart on this one because he might go back, because most people who separate do go back. Right. And sometimes people are just sort of switching because they're not used to being alone. So that's the thing about like married people, when they're not married anymore, even though they don't want to be together anymore, they're used to not being single. So a lot goes along with that, having another person to sleep with. They're not used to being alone.
Well, when it's too new like that too. So if this person's legally separated, I don't think you're doing anything wrong. I don't think you're doing anything wrong because this person's done. But the problem is that I just don't think that people are done. Right. It always happens with people though, even in a normal breakup, even if it's not like a marriage situation where you just broke up with somebody and then you get back there out there into the dating world, think you're ready. I've done this before. Get back there in the dating world, think that you're ready to get out there and date, and you're over the last person, and stuff happens. Like old feelings creep up, and you start thinking when you're hanging out with a new person, you start thinking about the old person for some reason, especially when it's too new. You know what I mean? To break up is so fresh. And then here we are. It's like it's hard to focus on somebody when your feelings are not closed with the other person. Now, every time we do these kind of videos, we always have to say this. There are exceptions and there are rules. So if there's anybody out there that's going to be like, oh my God, no, I dated somebody, they were separated and it worked and we were together for 18,000 years. Okay. That's great. We understand that, but you are an exception. But most people are going to be the rule. So dating someone that's newly separated, there's going to be some problems there. You're going to fall in the cracks. I think. Yeah. I think what happens is, and this is kind of just like textbook stuff. You will fall in the cracks of someone's life because they may not be completely done with them yet. You may want to at least wait until the divorce, I guess, is final. But then we talk about that. Dating newly divorced people. So what do you like? What's when's the right time though that you think?
I always give people a couple years.
Okay, you know what I mean.
Yeah. For me to get serious with a man that's been divorced, it has to be he would have had to been married. Single for a couple of years, because then that way he's done gotten out there. He's married. He's slept around a little bit. You know what I mean? Like he's had his bachelor moment again. You know what I mean? But men in general, though, when they break up, I'm sure a lot of men will say this isn't true, but I think men in general, when they break up, they jump back into relationships. Yeah, they don't like being alone too much. And I even heard once a man say that men don't really like being alone. You know what I mean? Like they have to have a girlfriend or a wife or someone in their life. And so, especially after a breakup, they will most certainly have like a hoe moment. Yeah. But most divorced men will get married again. Yeah. You know what I mean? Even if their marriage was bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They'll get married again because there is certain comforts in being with someone.
Yeah.
But you don't want to be it's like a weird rebound. It's like you don't want to be the woman that, because when people are lonely, they can make you feel like you're the best.
Yeah. It's true.
Simply because you're there. You know what I mean? And then when that facade is over for them,
it's like,
then they'll be done with you. You know,
you'll start noticing things too. Okay, so I know people. I've never dated someone that's newly separated at all. I don't believe you should date when you're separated or dating someone that is separate. Like, I don't think that you should do that. It's good for you to not,
right?
Because I mean, you'll be able to clear your mind, put some time into yourself, understand kind of what happened in your relationship, and don't harbor any of that, because when you go out on any date, while you think you might be over because you're separated,
right?
That's because you're thinking, I'm physically separated from this person, and we have even if it's like 8 months separation, and you're still not fully divorced, probably waiting for the divorce to go through and all that. It's like you're gonna you don't want to get someone involved with you, like get involved with someone when you're probably still harboring feelings,
right?
Like it's not fair to that person or you. And I just think that this is like a recipe for disaster. Every single time I have known someone that has dated while they're when they're going through a separate when they're separated, every time it's always like, oh, he went back to his wife. She went back to her husband, and it's like...
Or sometimes they simply just take a long time to get serious because they are still harboring feelings for... Because divorce doesn't mean your feelings are gone. It means that you're just illegally... There's a legal separation there. Yeah. But a lot of people, most people have kids with their ex-person. You know what I mean? They have history. History really trumps a lot of things, because they've been with you through a lot of things. Right. And so they're not used to being like by themselves. Yeah. And I've actually had men who, there have been times when I've been on Facebook or something, and a guy I know has gotten divorced, and he'll come into my inbox and ask me, and I say no, and I tell them why. Like, I don't date newly divorced men. People. And they're like, why? No. Why? I'm sorry. I was like, no, I'm sorry. Those when we talk about having standards, that's one of mine.
That's one of them.
One of my standards is you got to have goals. You got to you've had to be single for at least a year. You know what I mean? Because I think that you need to know what it's like to not have.
It's gonna show up.
You need to know what it's like to be alone. Yeah. Everybody does. You need to be. There's times to be in a relationship, and there's times to be out of one. And I think that I'm one of these people. I'm okay with relationships. I love relationships, but I'm also okay alone. Right. I like, I kind of like myself. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I just want to get into relationship the thing is with relationships, I want to get into them in the right way. I want it to flow right. I don't want it to be over controlled either. Like, I want things to happen naturally. And I just know that, like, if you ask the question, so that means that you are apprehensive on what you're doing, what you're thinking about doing. So, and that's good news. It's not a bad thing. No. You're second guessing. Questions. Yeah, you're second guessing. Or just want to get a feedback, probably from very objective. We don't know you. Right. We have no idea who you are. So, we're kind of objective and care. Like you said, we don't really sugarcoat a lot of stuff. But I do feel like there's going to be... what often happens in the situation is hurt. Yeah. Because you're going to start liking this person. You're starting to get involved with somebody that is not fully done, with their wife. You know what I mean? And anything can happen in between that time of separation and divorce. Anything. And again... I know people who have separated from their husbands or wives, right? And they're, I'm done with him. I'm done with her. We're done, right? No. And dating while they're separated, starting to get serious with people, and then go back to their wife or go back to their husband. And I'm like, the person that you're dating is like, you fell into the cracks. Yeah, I mean, not that you're doing this or anything. Yeah, I'm saying. Sorry. Go ahead. Not that you're doing this or anything, but this is the reason why when people have affairs, they don't work. Yeah, it's because even though a man is having an affair on his wife or vice versa, it's not that you're better. It's that you're different. Yeah. And something's not right in the relationship. That's why that person exists. So the same thing could happen if a man just got out of a relationship. Yeah. It's not that you're better, it's you're different. And he's single. Yeah. And he's newly single. And he may not even want to be alone, but he may not want to be in a relationship either. And they'll put you in these little spaces where you don't really know what it is. It's just
like
because he's not ready to jump into a marriage, but he don't really like being by himself either, because it's not something he's kind of used to.
The marriage that separates so fresh.
That's why a lot of times, even like when people have affairs, when if they get a divorce because of it, they drop that woman. They drop a woman they have an affair with because they don't need her anymore.
They don't need her anymore.
They'll do everything in the world to get their wife back, mostly, even if they weren't happy with her. But they will drop you because there's no other reason for you. And the same thing here is that a lot of divorced men will have you around, but they won't commit to you. And then when they go out there and still, because they're not committed to you, they can date. And then they can go out here and see other women and they get committed to someone they really like. Because they're not really committed to you. You're really just there sexually, or just so you don't have to have someone to talk to. Right. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't say that you're doing anything wrong. I would just say that I would say guard your heart and don't have any expectations.
Yeah, something a lot of people do. People get into this stuff and they do have expectations going in on these things, and it's like you're gonna find yourself in a really odd position. Yeah, because he's gonna be. He's. I don't know these people. I don't want to speak as if I know what these people who you are, or the situation exactly. But I'm just saying, in general, I've personally seen this go bad. And it's really just because you're like, a lot of times the women are thinking, oh, like he's chose me. Like, he's about to get a divorce and then he's separated. And then here I am. It's like Kara was saying, like he just kind of, a lot of people just don't want to be alone. Yeah. Especially while they're going through a divorce. Yeah. So it's not like he's going through a divorce.
Even when you have a boyfriend and you break up with them, there's still feelings. There.
And also,
you didn't even marry them. Yeah. There's still like some kind of feelings there. I mean, I had a work friend once that got a divorce from her husband, and they were married for very many, many years, and she'd never been single for 20 plus years. And then as soon as she got a divorce, she didn't know how to be single. Oh yeah. And so then she started falling for men. Yeah, their lines and things, because she really didn't know what she really wanted. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just flipping this because we're talking about men, but women actually have this problem too. Is that they get a divorce and then they kind of latch on to the first man, and just to find out that man wasn't for them either. They just didn't like being by themselves, and it's hard. You know what I mean? There's people don't like being joined with someone, whether you're just living with them or they're your husband. There's a lot that goes along with that isn't seen, like you're like the comfort of having your day-to-day, because routine is important. Like people's routines can, and when that routine's broken, it can make them feel empty. Right. And lonely. Right. Even if they didn't have a good marriage, there's still something that kept them together for as long as they were together. And so when you break that routine, then they're just like, I didn't like her, but damn, I do miss her cooking. Right. I don't like her, but damn, I do miss the fact that I had someone I could have sex with next to me. Right. You know what I mean? So you know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't have to necessarily be a great marriage. It could have been an awful marriage, and they still are just used to having someone around. That's just why I always stress that being single, for me, because I'm 44 and I've been single for, 3 years, 4 years. You know what I mean? And I'm ready to have another relationship, actually. I'm ready to get out there and have another relationship. But there was a time, I'm not one of these people that jumps into relationships. So it takes me a long time to get in relationships, but it takes me a long time to get over them. Yeah. And so for me, I like my single time, and it's to get my own head together. Yeah. Because once you get out there in the world, you're going to have some self-esteem, because you will find newly divorced men. Yeah. You will find men who are talkers and love to just get at you.
So sometimes when you're single, and I don't know how old you are, majority of people who watch us are in the ages of 35 to 45. So I'm still around that age.
Like our age.
Yeah. When you're single, you too long. I'm not sure how long, if you are single. Well, you are single. Too long that you will kind of just take whatever. It's if someone's interested, and I'm not saying this is you, but just I'm trying to give some scenarios. But if someone's interested, you glob on to that. Right. So you can almost just talk yourself out of looking at logically the fact that he's legally separated. Right. Like, you're not logically thinking about this sometimes. So sometimes people are not logically thinking because they're like, oh, okay, I've been single for a long time, and no one's knocking at the door. Yeah, I'm tired of this, and this guy likes me, and he's legally. You put legally big, so I know you're really contemplating the situation.
The interesting thing is also to have good friends. Yeah, like I'm saying, I'm happy with my singleness, but I have a good friend. Yeah. So Danielle makes me laugh. So in days where I maybe feel lonely, not that it's the same, Because men aren't the same as dating my, like my sister. You know what I mean? But I think it's good to have good people around you.
Positive
and you have to make sure also that you'll be okay if it doesn't work out.
Right. Because when you have when you have negative people around you, it can get pretty bad. It can be, if you're already going through something with this relationship situation, the last thing you need is for it to come to your friends or family, whatever, and there's all a bunch of negative people. So that's what you mean.
So I'm not telling you not to date this person, because I think you should make your own decisions.
I also think and sometimes the decisions are good decisions. That's other things that if you make a decision to see this person and it works out okay, that's fine, that's good. Some decisions you just have a feeling, it's your life, right? So you just have your own internal feeling that it is, you have peace with it,
right?
That's one thing. So it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It's just that I just think in situations like this, you really do have to kind of look at the general statistics on how this actually normally works out. And what it generally happens when someone is separated, they don't go through a divorce.
But Danielle is right. There are exceptions.
There are
sometimes,
exceptions.
That's what I'm saying. I can't tell you not to see them, because this might be the exception.
It could be the guy.
This could be the guy. This could be the one. And I don't want to be the one to be like, oh, you go and tell him something, you walk off, and that could have been the guy. You'd be unsubscribing. These bitches lied to me. You know what I mean? No, you got to kind of fill these things out yourself. But I always say, tread easily. Yeah, you ask for our opinions. Don't put your eggs all in one basket. You know what I mean?
And also, side note, please make sure he's actually divorced or separated if you're doing the separation thing, because you're not. You said this is a new thing, pretty much. Like so. If make sure that he's even going through a divorce. Right. Going through a divorce, because some men will use that separation stuff if they're having a bad night with their wife. Yeah. You know what I mean? They'll use that. They'll say they're separated, and really they had an argument with the wife that night.
But I won't date newly divorced men, so separation will be out for me.
No, separation.
That means still married.
Yeah. So anybody who dates, so if you're someone who is agreeing that it's okay to date when someone's separated, if you're that person, then I would say just make sure that they're first of all actually separated, right? And not, because I'm telling you, people play these games, y'all. They play games just to get what they want. Yeah. Once they get that, they're good. Right. They're gone. Right. So I don't know, but like I'm like you, I don't date separated men.
No, I don't date married people.
Right, I don't. And I've
never
done that.
I know that separation's the thing that people do, and it's fine, like a lot of people. But I don't date married people.
Yeah, because if you don't know that he's actually even separated, if you don't know for sure, then you are considered the other woman now. Yeah. So you got to see them saying this is why you got to tread easy on this particular subject, because if he's legally separated, that's great for you if you're someone who's agreeing with dating when legally separated. But man, it's you want to make sure that I know people that that have been separated from their wives or husbands, and they went right back to them, right? And they were seeing someone.
But most people do. You know that most people when they separate, they do go back. Yeah, the statistic is high on that. Yeah, like they go back. But you know what I mean? Because sometimes people, because why people are separated, they go to couples therapy. They do to try to figure it out. A lot of that's really what separation is about, to see if you're okay without each other, without getting the divorce. So it's kind of like a thing of saying, okay, well, I'm letting my husband date. I'm letting him be free.
So he might even be going to counseling. Like, you're right. He could even be going to counseling with his ex-wife to see if they can work it out. Because what happens is with marriages, most marriages, you want to exhaust all avenues of it's over.
But most judges will say that. I won't grant it to you. Like in some states, actually, I think most states, they'll say, did you exhaust, or did you go to therapy? Did you go to a church? Did you go to something before you're just going to annul this or to divorce this marriage? Or some of them will make them do it before they go, because it is an honest thing. A lot of people, when they're angry and they're frustrated, they say a lot of things and do a lot of things abruptly because they're in the heat of the moment. But then when everything calms down, because you know that in your own life, when everything calms down, then you make more sense. You should never make decisions when you're really happy, really happy, or when you're really low. You should always be sort of even killed, because you can make bad decisions. You know what I mean? And so when people are in a point of a divorce, a lot of times they are angry. They're mad, they're frustrated, and they're responding to their partner in their frustrated space. In their angry space. A lot of times it causes them to go away, to find another woman or another man. And then when they calm down and they realize how many years they've put in, and they've got kids, and they've got a mortgage, together.
Financially, it changes their entire life. So sometimes it's when they say cheaper to keeper, that's not always saying it in a really rude, derogatory way. Like sometimes they literally just still love their ex or their wife.
And then who wants to go through the exhausting, financially burdening, divorce?
Yeah.
When you don't have to. That's why when people are separated, they usually do go to some sort of counseling or see each other every once in a while just to check in. To see how they feel, because I can guarantee you at some point this man probably is. Yeah,
because I know somebody right.
At some point I'm sure he's tried to contact his ex-wife or his current wife to see if the mood has changed.
Yeah, that separated thing, man. That's too risky for me. Yeah. I mean, if you're asking us, like to me, I just think that's too risky because I don't know. I mean, like, that just seems like you ain't done.
If you're not in relationship mode, then fine. You won't get attached. You know what I mean?
If you're falling in love with this person, because you're genuinely falling in love with this person, you have to do what's in your heart. Whatever. If it gives you peace, then you're good. If it gives you pause, then it's not. Yeah. So that's how I kind of gauge my
peace and pause. That's good.
Yeah.
You should put that on a shirt. Thank you. If it gives you peace, good. If it gives you pause, you put a little thumbs up and thumbs down. That's a cute little top.
Thanks, Kara.
I like it. We should do that.
Merch. But you always gauge, and that's like my compass in life. Like if I have peace with something, I feel good about it. There is no I just go with it because my heart's telling me to do it, right? And I know that it's going to work out well. Normally, it'll work out well because I have peace with what I've done. So even if it doesn't work out, I still have peace, so I'm good. But if I have some type of resistance, pause, uncertainty, question mark, then that says to me that I need to reassess the situation and then look at all of it in a really logical way, because you know what happens with women, y'all.
We're emotional.
Women, we are so emotional, and so when we make decisions, it's usually out of emotion. And there's a thing about men that everyone has, logic and emotion. Everyone has a level of men too. Everybody has a level of that. But women just have more of one than the other. So this is where you got to get into the logic part of your brain. Yeah. Logically speaking, if this man is separated, how is he behaving? Like, notice his behaviors and stuff. Is he being, because look, if you're gonna notice he when he starts going back to his wife because
I would even say like as far as even with that, like I would say that if he's not spending enough time with you, then it's because he's probably. But if he's calling you too much, that would mean that he's trying to substitute you.
Yeah, it is true.
Understand? Like you got to be kind of cautious of these things and how that they how they kind of, because look, men can have sex with women they hate. It doesn't affect them down there.
It's so
you know
true.
what I mean? If they find you mildly attractive and they don't really even like you that much, they can still. Women have to like you. Yeah. Even if you're just a one night stand, we can still gotta kind of like you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's a thing for us. Yeah. We still have to find you somehow charming and attractive. You know what I mean? Men literally can say whatever they want because they can have sex with you. Yeah. Without even liking you. That doesn't mean that they don't when they love you. That they're not enjoying it more.
They're just wired differently.
But they're just wired differently.
I always feel like as long as if women can kind of understand that men and women are not the same, like I don't. That's things where we all go wrong, is that we're not the same, so we don't handle things the exact same. So it's like I think that if you're in a situation where you're considering this relationship or whatever it could be, it's like I think that maybe like my advice to you, not even knowing everything, only because you wrote us, is telling me you have a little bit of pause. Yeah, and so
by the way, most people who are dating separated people are insecure because they do know on that shoulder there's his wife.
There's his wife,
and any minute now, if he's feeling any sort of sadness or feeling better about it, then he can knock you off and he will go back to her. And that will, and if you were a wife and he was, and your husband was separated from you, you would feel seniority of that too.
And there's some women,
I put in more time, like, you know what I mean?
There's women out here who have separated from their husbands or separated from their husbands, and they start dating. Yeah. Right. They start dating and getting out there. And what happens is a lot of times, women who are separated from their husbands, they don't feel desired. Something happened in a relationship where they don't feel desired anymore. As a woman or whatever it is.
Especially when it gets to our age, like middle age.
Yeah, they start feeling like not desired. So they the one time that someone gives them the attention, they think, oh my God, he really, really likes me because, you know, like that, you know, he was like my husband, he was never paying attention to me. And now this man's paying attention to me. So guess what? This is going to be the new man. And you put all your eggs in that basket. And then you're like, and he's that guy that you're dating knows that you're married.
Right.
He knows that you're still married. Most men are like, no, I'm dating a separated woman. Right. Like, it's just not going to work out. Like, I have never seen it where it's ever worked out. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just you said we don't sugarcoat things. You know, you means you watch a few of our videos. Right. It doesn't mean that we're judging your exact situation in a harsh way. It's just that I think that when we when we put logic on the back burner, we make decisions out of heightened emotion, then things can go bad fast. I think that you can really stop things if you stand back for a minute and just look at what you're doing. You know what I mean? And if you step back and look at what you're doing and go, no, this is the one. This is the one. I kind of like it. He seems very, it's all cool. He seems very, not only positive, but he seems like he is done with his wife. Yeah. He's in a process of divorce. It's now really at the point where it's just divorce proceedings daily or whatever you have in your prison. If he's on that level and you guys know you're going to, then fine. Then fine. But if you're asking me and Carol on a personal level, I will not date anyone who is separated. I don't think it's good. I think it's a recipe. It can be very disastrous.
I mean, I've back when we worked at Macy's, I had a friend, a male friend that worked there. He was dating a separated woman. Yeah. And he was like, she texts me all the time. He's like, right, because she's lonely. She's lonely. You know what I mean? And he was just like, really, you think so? And I was just like, yeah. I mean, how long was she married? He was like 13 years. And I was like, yeah. See, when, you know, she's only doing that because she's not used to not having that person around. 13 years. So then the next day he came and he was like, I'm starting to think you're right about that. He's like, why? Because she just like calls me too much. Yeah. Like, he's just like, and I feel like, you feel like a substitute. Yeah. You feel like a substitute. What it is. There's a difference. There's when people don't call you at all, and then when they call you too much. Yeah, there's that it's weird. They're both bad. I mean, it's just, I would say, you know, have fun, date, don't expect anything, keep it casual, and you know, understand he's married. So at any moment now, he could change his heart and want to go back, and then you would be left with your feelings. Yeah, because your actual truth right now is that he is married. Yeah, I mean, let's just keep that. I know we can get technical and look at all the little added things to this and, you know, and dissect this little by little, but he is a married man. Yeah. Right. And, you know, things went bad in his relationship. That means he has to still be having some kind of feelings. Otherwise. Even if he says, I love you, you got to see how he says it. If he says, you know, I love you. Make sure it's not like that. I mean, that's basically like, you're a good friend. You know what I mean? Or if he just looks you in the eye and says, I love you, that doesn't mean it either. It doesn't. Right. You know what I mean? Just like you kind of have to, see the sincerity and how the relationship's actually going. And I don't know if man should be saying he loves any woman while he's still married to another one. No, so that's what my point of this whole thing. I think it's the marriage thing. Yeah. So the thing for me is the fact that he is still married. Attached. Even if he was doing everything right, I would just think, I don't like that you're married. I wish you weren't. No. You know, when you weren't, that you were divorced for like 2 years. And you know what? Men who have been divorced for a couple of years are different than when they first got divorced. But do you think that men that are, okay, so do you think it's an age thing too? Because what if a man is in his like 50s or 60s and he got divorced and he knows he's done with his sex? When you get older, you are more certain. You move on quicker because you do know you're certain about things. So is it still the same rule if it's a man that's older? Because I think they say that when people get married a second time, you're more likely to get a divorce. That's true. Even greater than the first time. Interesting. And if you get married a third time, it's like 75% chance you're going to divorce. Yeah. So the more you get married, the more you're more likely to get a divorce. Right. So it's like I always think that when people have been in a certain relationship with someone for a long time, a certain type of relationship, then you're taking with you. You're dating someone that you're taking their problems into your life. And you have to understand that. Well, they're also taking your problems in, but you know, I've never been married. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? But I will say that probably when I get married, I will probably be my husband's second wife. Right. Because most men that are in their 40s have been married before. Right. So I'm pretty sure that when I get married, I will be someone's second wife and not their first wife. You know, and so with that being said, for me, the rules are you have to be divorced at least 2 years for me because I feel like men who have been divorced for 2 years have had, like I said, had their hoe moments, have been to enough strip clubs, have been angry enough with that last woman, have dated around, and there have been variety, and he chose me.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the first one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's my feeling in that. You know what I mean? You kind of want that. You want him to date around. Right. Like, I want whoever comes to my life to have dated a while before we start.
Figure that out. Get that out.
Then I know.
We'll get out of your system type situation.
Because then I know it's not a rebound. He liked me. He wanted me because he could have dated any of these women. He chose me. So...
Yeah, I don't know.
Out of a relationship, you could literally just be a standby until the real girl comes in, you know what I mean, or just his wife comes back.
I wonder how long you've been single. Like if you've been single for a while and you're tired of being single, something tells me, I don't know, well, you get feeling about things. Yeah, I was get feeling about stuff, but some of the questions that we get, I'm like, if you've been single for a while and you feel like this is all you can get, this is your situation. Just know this. It may not be, but if you've been single for a while and you feel like I haven't had any offers. Yeah. I haven't had any offers. This guy he's knocking at the door, and, he's just separated, and you're making that okay when you prior would not make that okay. Like, I don't know. I just feel like you should just rationally think
don't
about
be in fairy tale mode until you know it's real. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I love a good fairy tale. Yeah. But I don't get in that mode. No. I get into eyebrow. Yeah. But you did that right. Yeah. That was good. I'm in that mode until until when I'm in a comfortable place, when I know that we both mutually feel the same way. And then I want you to treat me like a princess. I like it. I want flowers. I want to start acting all girly and all that. But then before that, it's kind of like, especially like, again, I don't do this because I don't date separated men. But if I was dating a separated man, there would be no way I would act like I'm head over heels for anyone or like anyone until I guess divorce. Yeah. But even then, it would kind of be like,
you kind of need to play hard to get at this point. If you're going to do this, you're gonna start playing like hard.
See if he really wants you.
Yeah, like don't always be available. Like don't do that.
And then make sure if you do like him, that divorce starts coming up soon. Yeah, because you don't want to be with someone for a whole year still married.
Yep, this is why I don't do it. This is why I don't do it. But if you're doing this and that's you're good with that, I would play a little bit. I'll play hard to get a little bit. See where he's at, because if you start being clingy and always being around him, he's gonna be.
Clingy is not good for any.
But if you just continue with your life and genuinely continue with your life and have a good time in your life, go to work, whatever you do, just live your life like you normally would live your life. You just happen to be seeing this man, then you don't every phone call you don't answer. Yeah. You answer every single phone call. One ring and you got it. You know what I mean? Like that's like just don't be because the situation is already a little weird. So
miss some of those calls.
Yeah, right. obviously some of these situations, the situation is a little bit weird because you wrote us. So some part of it,
it was a small question. Like you didn't give us your whole life, so I don't know exactly what's going on here. But really, don't be so clingy, because clingy, whether it's a man or a woman, is very unattractive. Right. I don't like clingy men.
Yeah, my women's intuition is just telling me that maybe you're I don't want you to think you don't deserve someone who's fully single. And available and fully available, because
But you're in your right to date him because they've made a decision. This couple has made a decision.
So don't feel bad about like just because I wouldn't do it. It doesn't mean it's just morally wrong. If he has a legal separation, they're separate from each other. Then there's nothing wrong, I guess, technically. Right. Than dating him. It's just that if you haven't paused, like, this, what you're doing right now, then I think that you owe it to yourself to kind of reassess the situation and just think about it before you do it. Okay. Because we don't want no hurt feelings over here. And it can happen very easily and very quickly. And you won't even realize, man, I'm in this. Right. And now I fell in love and he's going back to his wife.
But if you do get into this relationship and he hurts your feelings, then you'll feel like me. 2 years. You'll know. See, her feelings sometimes help you. They do. Her feelings help you. They're a blessing. No, they're a blessing to God.
Yeah, people say it's true. Actually,
they do. You know what I mean? And so
her feelings are there for a reason.
No, next time you'll be like, never again. Right, never again, and that will save you.
Thank you so much for your question. I think you said you're from the UK. I think the part of this,
I love that you're from the UK.
Yeah, I think
I
like
that someone from the UK.
Are UK men different?
No.
I don't know. Anyways, thank you for subscribing to our channel, and thank you so much for the viewer question. Please,
more questions.
Send some more questions. We have some coming up. I will put our email here. Okay, and you can just send your question to our email or drop a comment below. And yeah, that's it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Share it. We're trying to grow and build. And yeah, that's it. Everybody have a good day. We'll see you back.
And if our advice doesn't apply, let it fly.
This is why. See you guys later on this week. All right. Bye.